Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Austin. I wanted to come on here and make this recap really quick. Today was FOMC day, so I actually woke up a tad late this morning. The market was already open. I ripped myself out of bed and sat down, and it did not take me long to find myself in a position. I wasn't looking to do a whole lot of trading today because it was FOMC, so I was just kind of like, these are days that, a lot of people just don't even trade these days in the first place, which, I've done that before as well. But anyway, I was looking at Peloton here, and this one I've kind of been monitoring day to day, just, sometimes, I'll click on it or whatever. I rarely trade this one, but today you can see it had its earnings pre-market this morning, and it gapped up to about $14, which is a price it has not touched since May of last year, so a really long time. And you can see on the daily chart, this is something that I've been noticing, is this kind of triple bottom reverse head and shoulders forming, which is just a classic bull setup. So on the daily chart, the breakout was really no surprise. And then when I woke up and I looked at it, it was kind of coming up here. And this is a very common bull setup as well, where you have that initial push, then it looks like it's failing. Everyone clicks away, looks somewhere else, right? It's not going. And then it rips back up, reclaims VWAP, holds these kind of MAs, and just is just really kind of a nice bull setup here. So I did jump in long, and I jumped big with 2K shares. I waited on this candle to see if this was going to close well, and then it did, and so then I was in at 24, and it quickly ripped up, and I was out half of the position very quickly. And my only regret on this trade, I mean, you can see my entry is fantastic. You zoom out and you look, and that entry is just, that's a perfect entry right there. A lot of times I can get the perfect entry. It's like trades like these that just remind me, it's like, man, trading's really not that hard. And it's funny too, because I watch a lot of other traders, and I watch a lot of other kind of channels and stuff, and I see this stuff on social media, like people posting like their like ICT level breakdown analysis, and it's like a speed run of them like making like on their chart, like drawing everything out and marking certain levels. Like, it's just funny to me because I can jump into a position like this, which with tremendous directional confidence, just by looking at this daily chart pattern, the gap and go setup. I mean, it's often not that hard when you're trading equities to find something that's like, okay, this has a really good shot of being very directionally strong, and being a trending stock. If I can find myself a trending stock, and I kind of know it when I see it, and I don't even have to really mark stuff out. Like, I looked at this, I instantly knew. I was like, oh, it's gapping up 14, like, because I already click on these stocks all the time. I'm constantly looking at their daily chart, so I know in the back of my head when stuff's kind of developing. And Peloton was definitely on the back burner. In fact, this one I was going to actually buy calls on this stock last week, if you can believe it. I was looking at the prices. Ultimately, I decided not to, but I should have, and this is exactly what I was predicting. So we got a huge rip up here, and we closed above 16 bucks. And I mean, you'll just have to take my word for it, but I was thinking about buying calls on this stock, but ultimately I did not end up doing it, because actually I was bearish on the market, which I have been wrong about, because the market ripped today. But the market was definitely trending this morning, and Peloton was showing relative strength against the market as well. I was in this trade, watching the market at the same time, watching the candles on the market and on Peloton, and Peloton was definitely strong. But I'm not too pleased with my exits on this ticker. I mean, my last exit here, 500 shares, just is not good at all, and I totally will accept that. I mean, it was just bad. This is like really bad. I should have just placed my stop under this wick, but when we got this big rip up, and then this candle came up, big bull candle here, I was looking for the continuation, but then we started to pull back again, and then this candle started to give up, and the NASDAQ looked like it was starting to roll over as well. Then this candle just ripped back up like super strong, and I was like, dang it. Of course it did. And then I was like instantly like, man, my stop should have just been under 92 there, under this wick. Like, that would have been way better. But ultimately, I made a mistake. It happens. And it made that next leg higher. So I just messed up on that last exit. And then here, getting out half the position very early you know, that's mainly my style. That's typically what I do is I take kind of a very large position. I mean, 2,000 shares is not a position I think I would be capable of holding for this entire move. Just because, you know, what if something does happen? We did have 10 a.m. news as well. There were certain data that was coming across. So there were risks, but I'm just not one to hold this large a position for that long. But I try my best to stay in the trade to reap the profits. So, you know, $900 on an FOMC day, and you can see my last exit was 10:04 from 9:47. So that's a 17-minute trade. So, you know. That's it, you know, less than 20 minutes and I'm up $900 on an FOMC day, and it's just about finding setups that I like, you know, looking at all the time frames is super important. And then you know, as I touched on, in my opinion, just find the easiest way for you to make money. And for me, this is the easiest way. I don't want to mark up futures charts and, like, you know, talk about fair value gaps and just, this is so much easier, so much clearer. For me, the struggle has not been finding the setups. That's easy. I can find setups like this, you know, in a good market all the time. I mean, there were other stocks I was looking at. Once I got out of this trade, I was kind of like, you know what, I think I'm just going to be done for the day. There were many other moments, even before FOMC, where I still sat around, watched stocks. I saw setups I liked and setups that if I had taken, they would have worked. But ultimately, with FOMC day and just having collected $900 so early with inside 20 minutes, I was certain that probably the best thing to do, just to lock it in. I just wanted to, like, all right, let's lock in a $900 day today. I didn't want to be messing around, so I just was gonna, like, do a one and done. But finding the setups, like I said, I was clicking around and there were a bunch of other names that had good setups today, and you know, that's it. I mean, Amazon didn't do much. That's not a very good example, but you know, Tesla bounced off 170 today pretty nicely, so that was, you know, a decent setup there. And then shorting it under 171. Anyway, so these are poor examples, but I was, you know, clicking around and there were a bunch of other good setups, you know, even before FOMC, that I was looking at, but I ultimately did not end up taking. But finding the setups has never been the problem for me. It's always been about executing the trade management, and actually when you see a good setup, to hammer it. Because usually, sometimes when I see a good setup, I just don't even take big enough size, but that wasn't the issue here. But sometimes it is. Anyway, all right, that's all I got for you. So I'm up 900 today. And then yesterday, I want to be transparent too. With yesterday, I actually finished the day in the red yesterday. So I'll show you guys the Discord. This was my P&L chart yesterday. So yesterday didn't do so well. I lost $250. I traded way more. Typically when I trade more, I don't do as well. So I actually gave up a lot yesterday and then was able to make some back, which has been a recurring theme, but I got to try to limit my trading. I had a nice start and then it kind of fell apart. So that was my trading yesterday. I want to be transparent about that. And then obviously I did the recap on Monday. So that should bring you all up to speed. And then last thing, I still have these 10 put spreads on SPY. Again, I only risked like $500 on this trade, but I'm down 325 on it, so the net liquidity is down to 175. So, you know, I don't even have that much left in this trade. I think I'm just going to let it run. So again, you know, with the put spreads, it was just kind of a YOLO play here, but not really working out. But I'll keep it on and see what happens. You know, the FOMC reaction was pretty severe today, but again, that next day is really important too. So tomorrow is going to be important, and then Friday we got more data coming out as well. So there's still a lot of headwinds, I'd say, and possibilities for reversal. I'll keep it on, but yeah, not doing well there. So all right, that is it. Brief recap, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye-bye.